right arm. So I have the arm just resting on the floor beside me. And as I breathe out, I'm going to begin to roll that arm bone in towards the side of my body. And the front of my shoulder will move in the direction towards my opposite pelvic bone. And the weight will lighten off the back of my right shoulder, all on that out breath. And then as I breathe in, I begin to roll the arm bone back out and turn the palm in the direction of towards the ceiling. So breathing out, the arm bone rolls in, the weight lightens off the back of the shoulder. And then breathing in as the arm bone rolls out and the palm faces back up towards the ceiling. And just continuing with this movement in your own time. Maybe slow things down and really feel the connection starting from the hand, going through the forearm, the upper arm, and then feeding into the shoulder. You could also sense into a diagonal line from the front of the right shoulder to the opposite front of your pelvis, so the left. And as you roll the arm bone in, that line gets shorter, so we have this diagonal connection shortening in the front of the body. And as the arm rolls back out, it lengthens. And let's just go and compare that movement on the opposite side. So you can start with the left palm facing towards the ceiling, or it doesn't matter if it's a little bit towards the little fingers. Just notice where you're starting from, and is it the same on this side or is it different? And then once you're good to go, breathing out, begin to roll the palm in the direction of downwards towards the floor. The forearm begins to roll in, the upper arm bone begins to roll in, and we lighten the weight off the back of the left shoulder and the front of the left shoulder moving in a diagonal towards the front of the right hip. And then breathing in as you unwind that coming out of the movement. So again, the breath out as you begin to roll the arm bone in and sensing into the different parts of the movement. Sense into the hand rolling, the forearm feeding into the upper arm, and then feeding into the shoulder. And just sensing into, can you notice anything different on this side? Maybe it's easier, maybe it's harder, maybe you can't put your finger on what it actually is, but maybe it feels like more of a known pattern or a not so known pattern. Come and take a rest for a moment. And we're going to go back to arm one, except this time we're going to rest on the little finger edge, and we're going to stay resting on the little finger edge. So now as you breathe out, you're just going to think of lightening the weight off the back of the right shoulder and bringing the front of the right shoulder, kind of curling it in the direction of the front of the left hip. You can take an in-breath to prepare, and then breathing out, just lightening the weight off the back of the right shoulder, and breathing in as it returns to its start position. And notice, are you letting go completely each time you let that shoulder come back into the start position? So breathing out as we lighten the weight, and breathing in as we return. And just continue to do this a few more times. Notice if the head gets involved in any way, and if it does, what way does it get involved? Notice if you're unnecessarily gripping anywhere in the body. Relax the jaw, relax the throat, relax the fingers and the toes. And then let's go and compare this now to the opposite side. So you can come and rest on the little finger edge of the left hand. We're thinking now of our diagonal from the front of the left shoulder to the front of our right hip. And as we breathe out, lightening the weight off the back of that left shoulder. And breathing in as we return to our start position. So So breathing out as the left shoulder curls a little bit away from the floor. And then breathing in as we return. This time the hand is not rolling in, we're just keeping the weight resting on the little finger. And thinking of this diagonal connection from front of the left shoulder to front of the right hip, and that shortens as we curl up, and it lengthens then as we release back down. See, what would it be like to put a little bit less effort into this movement and move a little bit slower. Notice if the head gets involved. And notice if your opposite shoulder gets involved in any way, and if it does, what does it do? And then give all of that up and come and rest.